Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Bickham, editor of AMP's Materials Performance Magazine. Joining me today is David Alleyne. He is founder and CEO of Guided Ultrasonics Limited. Thank you for joining me today, David. So, David, we're interested in learning more about GUL's monitoring technology for monitoring corrosion in hard-to-access areas with the ability to cover large areas. Can you tell us about how the technology works and why it's a game changer for asset integrity managers?
Yeah, sure. The technology works by using guided waves to travel over long distances and cover large areas. And that's the fundamentals of it. It's a game changer because in asset integrity monitoring and other aspects of safety of these large structures and systems, they cover large areas, and you monitor those areas. But traditionally, people have been monitoring single points, very small points, less than an inch. And our technology covers many thousands or even up to a million inches in some cases. So therefore, that's why we call it a game changer. It gives you a much bigger coverage, a much bigger opportunity to monitor and detect where the damage is actually happening, which in normal circumstances is not where you can see it easily or where it's easy to access.
GUL provides data to desktop, data and insights. Can you tell us more about that, the types and usefulness of information this data gives us?
Yeah, data to desktop is a common industry term together with big data. And it's really this whole process of digitization, where what we want to do is take the data from a sensor, transfer it through the backhaul to a computer somewhere, maybe that's a server or the cloud, process that data so it becomes information, and then we take that information together with other information relevant to the system or the pipe that the data was taken from, for example, the temperature or what the fluid or gas inside of it was doing. And then we take all of that information and then we can come with insights. We can say, aha, we get some corrosion and it's located at this location, and it happens when we have this temperature or when we have this process. That's where we can gain the insights. And those insights then can be used to make the process maybe more efficient, or we can use it also to make the process safer, or a combination. And of course, if we can do that while removing people out of harm's way at the same time, that's even better. And that's the focus of what we're trying to do.
Your team has years of expertise, enabling you to bring continuous support to the asset integrity managers that you partner with. Can you tell us more about this support and partnership advantages? From the origins of this technology to GUL's monitoring product line as they're being used in the field today.
Yeah, the origin of the technology is in the late 80s and 90s from Imperial College, University in London, but also other universities globally, Pennsylvania State, where a group of the engineers from these universities came together in 1999 to form GUL. And therefore, it was an academic or sort of research and development focus from the very beginning, and that's continued. And research and development within universities is very group orientated, very partnership orientated. So it's a culture that came from the very beginning. And what we've found out is that for technology and new innovations to be implemented within industry, you need to take that whole culture, that whole process with you to industry, because otherwise it doesn't get innovated and introduced in a way that you can maximize its benefit. And so that whole idea of partnership, about open communication channels, about respect and ensuring that you have this very clear, very direct, not direct in a rude way, but direct in a challenging and way that allows other people to have that conversation and to also contribute, because a partnership implies a two-way process where both or the different parts of the partnership are both contributing and communicating and helping one another to achieve their their goals and their ambition. And our goal is, of course, to see this monitoring technology implemented to improve safety and efficiencies for ourselves, for the industry, and for the community at large, because the infrastructure that we generally monitor are dangerous places, and it has implications to not just our industry, but to society in general too.
David, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today and for sharing your expertise on the topic of guided ultrasonic monitoring technology to manage corrosion.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Rebecca, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to introduce guided ultrasonics and our monitoring technologies, and to briefly describe how we can use those technologies to benefit industry.
For more information on Guided Ultrasonics Limited, please visit the website guided-ultrasonics.com.